Now, if you're working on shallowing the golf club in transition and in the downswing, there is a move you need to know that you have to pair up with shallowing the golf club to be able to successfully hit good golf shots like you want to with this move. If you don't do this, there's no point shallowing the golf club because you're probably going to hit the ball worse. So in this video, let's dive right into that and let's get this into your golf game. So I'm Jonathan Chan with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. Now, like we said, it's a great thing to be working on shallowing the golf club in transition and in the downswing. It will help you be able to rotate and turn more efficiently through the golf ball. But there is something you need to absolutely know with this here, the club face, and when you're shallowing it, exactly what happens to it. Because if you don't know this, that shallowing that you're working on is going to do nothing for your golf swing other than probably hit the ball quite poorly for it. And that is when you start to shallow the golf club, the club face opens up a little bit. So now, I did say a little bit there. It's only a small fraction that this club face opens up, but we know if we don't try to mitigate that in any way with a slightly open club face, that's just enough for the ball to go horrendously offline. So we know with golf, the margins are extremely small. But one of the reasons, like we said, we're trying to shallow the golf club is so we can rotate through the golf ball nice and freely. But if the club face is open, as we're doing that, we're still going to stall out our body rotation and flip our hands, completely kind of getting rid of the reason almost to why we are shallowing the golf club. So we know shallowing the golf club is a move vast majority of top players do, but you'll see them all do a very similar thing when they're in transition, which mitigates the open club face nature. And that is they'll be adding in left wrist bowing or flexion in the downswing as they're shallowing the golf club. Now, we know that shallowing the golf club and bowing the left wrist do go hand in hand to each other. Bowing the left wrist does actually shallow the golf club. But as we know, what bowing the left wrist mainly does is it closes off the club face more. So let's say you're a golfer who has a standard grip, a 2.5 knuckle or 2 knuckle golf grip. If you are shallowing the golf club without bowing that left wrist, it's going to be getting open. So you need to add in some flexion as you're starting to go down the downswing with that left wrist. Then that club face is going to be in a nice stable position. That club face is, and the club shaft is going to be shallow, and then you can just turn through the golf ball. Your golf swing has everything it needs to be able to shallow the golf club. So let's get straight into a drill here. So you can see a glove has magically appeared on my hand here, and what we're going to do, we're going to use a tee with this as well. So this is really going to encourage us to be able to flex that left wrist in the downswing. But guys, only if you've got a standard grip or a slightly weaker grip can you do this. Do not do this with a strong grip, because if you try to bow the left wrist with a strong grip, you're hitting it miles left. So all we've got to do here, we've got to un-velcro the glove, and we have a tee, and we put the tee just in this little portion of the glove here and then re-velcro it back. So what this is, as you can see, this tee is just jotting out here. We're using this tee as a visual. So what we want to happen in that downswing, we want that tee to start curling down towards the ground. If we can get it to curl down towards the ground, just like so, that is going to add some bowing into that left wrist. So then that will mitigate, like we said, the opening nature of the golf club with shallowing the club. So really feel like that tee is really curling down towards the ground, and you want to continue that feeling until obviously going through and post impact. Tee pointing down towards that ground, gradually get in there. That's going to be simply just adding some bowing into the left wrist. You could even be thinking of your glove logo really curling down towards the ground, or even your knuckles. That'll be a great one out on the golf course when you can't practice this. So curling it down towards the ground, it's going to start to add some bow, and it's going to really help me with shallowing the golf club. So how I would recommend practicing this, of course, just like we saw there, hitting balls, absolutely. But really getting in some reps just of working on that transitional move in between shots. So where I'm really just trying to curl this tee down towards the ground, so it's pointing at the ground, just in that one movement. So, because that's when we want to start adding it in there if we don't already have it in our golf swing there. So really get a few of those real transitional bowing moves, curling the tee towards the ground, and again, then hit a few shots afterwards. So guys, there we go. There's a really simple drill to do to add something into your golf swing that is extremely crucial, and that is good quality shallowing. So why it will be good quality? Because of course the club face will be square at the same time as shallowing the golf club. Like we said earlier in the video, this is what we see vast majority of tour players do to some degree in the downswing whilst they're shallowing the golf club. Now we know flexing the left wrist does shallow the golf club, but it is something that is vital to help you square up that club face. So if you enjoyed that video, of course, hit that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So focus on getting that left wrist a little bit flexed, and then you're going to be having good quality shallowing in the downswing.